Yeah, Extreme E is first of all, it's a motorsport series that operates in some of the most extreme environments on the planet. It's been set up on four pillars. So the first pillar is the environment, and we're using sport for purpose. So sport is that intersect and that ability to connect hundreds of millions of people across the world with climate change. So it's very new. It's not a documentary and it's not news. And what we're hoping is that we have more success in terms of communicating to a much broader audience. Second aspect is it's electric. So the cars are fully electric. They're zero emission racing. So we use green hydrogen, which we make through solar power. That green hydrogen charges the batteries. The batteries then drive the drivetrain in the electric SUV. And that races in some of the most challenging environments in the world. Third aspect is equality and the fact that the racing is by men and women. And we really copied from Wimbledon, which is mixed doubles. So what we have is one car, and we have 4 laps that the car must do. It's multi-car racing, and so those cars will race against each other in all these other parts of the world, 5 at a time. So very like Formula One, but 2 laps will need to be done by driver A and 2 laps will be by driver B. One will be a man and one will be a woman. And then the last aspect is we use these greats of Formula One like Lewis Hamilton, Jenson Button, Nico Rosberg, who really are the greats of the sport. We use Dakar legends, IndyCar legends, World Rally legends like Carlos Sainz, like Sebastian Loeb. And what they enable us to do is to connect with a much broader audience of over 1 billion people on the planet that have an interest and an active interest in motorsports. So hopefully that sort of updates you on where we are. We've been working a lot with EY. Alejandro and myself were co-founders of Formula E, and we know that we have a carbon footprint of around about 75,000 tons. So the architecture of the championship, we worked with EY to understand, really where's that carbon footprint come from? And the majority of it comes from air travel. And so what we've done is we've set the championship up in such a way where we reduce to begin with by designing the championship so that we avoid carbon emissions. So we take all the cars, the tents, the broadcaster equipment from A to B, so from Senegal to the Amazon, to the Atacama Desert, to the north of Scotland, using a boat called the St. Helena, and that's our mobile paddock. We use locally sourced food, we have no single-use plastic, we bring our own plates and knives and forks on site. So every element of a traditional championship or a traditional sport we seek to mitigate and to reduce. And what that's allowed us to do is to reduce from that 75,000 figure to around about 9,000, and we seek to reduce that further. So how do we use green hydrogen to power the whole of the paddock? What are some of the other initiatives that we can do that will reduce our carbon footprints? And it's work in progress. We're not perfect, but we're very much hoping to address some of these challenges and show that they can be addressed in the middle of nowhere. And if we can do it there, then Arsenal or Chelsea or Formula One or the British Open can all do more. And we're happy enough to share some of our learnings with other sports and entertainment properties. First of all, partnership for us is motorsport is 1 year of motorsport is equivalent to 10 years of R&D. So our partners seek to trial innovations, whether it's in the car, so whether it's people like General Motors or people like the Volkswagen Group with Cupra or McLaren. These are brands that all look at technology in the car. That can be hydrogen technology, that can be electric technology, but the majority of our partners are looking at the infrastructure, whether that's marine transportation, whether that's power generation, whether it's connectivity on site. We work with someone like Vodafone and Vodafone Business, and that's been incredible for us to see how we can get connectivity in the middle of the Atacama Desert, or how we can get it in the middle of the glens of Scotland. These are very tough locations to get Wi-Fi, to get phone reception. And so we're creating our own private networks, 5G private networks, IoT solutions that help us with communication on site, taking our broadcast product, being able to communicate that further afield, allowing people like Lewis Hamilton or Jenson Button to be able to do their social media on site. But also, we're able to use that sort of technology to ensure that if there is an accident, that the medical car can be linked up to the best medics here in London or in other parts of the world that maybe have the expertises on head injuries or back injuries. So it's a real triage tool. So there is a variety of different solutions which help us to become more sustainable, become safer, to create better media products. And that's all through partners that are seeking to trial technologies and new technologies, but to do that in some of these extreme circumstances. We're continually dreaming about how do we make our proposition more sustainable but more entertaining. And what I think connectivity and IoT solutions will allow us to do is how do we take these fans that aren't on site and how do we give them that sort of, whether it's a virtual reality experience or a gaming experience, how do we allow them to get involved in the metaverse or get involved in Web3? What are some of the solutions which allow a much younger skewing audience to feel what it's like to be in the Arctic Circle, on the Russell Glacier, racing in these locations, mixing in these paddock areas? How do we give them that actuality and that very futuristic sort of experience where it's immersive? So we're really focusing around what is the next stage of entertainment? How does Extreme E get involved in that next stage of entertainment? And what are some of the solutions that are here at this moment in time, but also solutions that haven't been dreamt up yet? How do we take those, work those up with partners? And often it's with a multitude of different partners. How do we collaborate together to come up with this innovation that makes the viewing product so much better?